Joel, welcome to Abington News and Views.
Good to be here.
Tell us about your level of, or your area of expertise in the law.
Well, for 30 years now, I've concentrated my practice in family law, which means child support, custody, divorce, division of property. And I've been doing that, as I said, now for well over 30 years. And so it involves people. That's why I enjoyed going into it initially, because it got me into court, which I enjoy. Enjoy dealing with people and being able to help them. But over the years, what I've learned is family law is fascinating, because you get to be a jack of all trades, really, because you have to understand tax returns, you have to be able to read contracts, negotiate, and try a lot of cases. I'm in court just about every day. And then dealing with people and their emotions and their crisis with their families creates a sense of urgency, and here you have that kind of personality to be able to withstand it. Or most of I found over the early course of my career, people got out of that area of the law and tend to not do it. So it's over the years, it's been very intellectually challenging, but personally satisfying to be able to help people.
Well, Joel, you're running for Democratic candidate for Montgomery County Common Pleas Court Judge. Tell us why you're doing that. Well,
as I said, doing family law for 30 years gave me a perspective of helping families, children, and I've been lucky enough through my practice to take positions of leadership. I'm the immediate past president of the American Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers, Pennsylvania chapter, which is similar to being board certified. The lawyers don't get to be certified, so to speak, as doctors do. But the American Academy is the only nationally recognized organization that certifies fellows to the Academy. So there's minimum standards. Practice is concentrated in family law for over 10 years, a national test, a local test, and they actually look into all of your cases that you've ever done. When I applied, I had to list every case that I tried, and every judge was contacted to, speak on my qualifications.
Oh, really?
So it was a bear to get through, but it was worthwhile. And then I worked my way up through the officers, and like I said, I became president last year. And the reason I did that, not was for my resume, because I really don't particularly care about that. I did it because I can make a difference. And by that I mean family law is evolving. When I first started practicing, the new code was brought into Pennsylvania. By that I mean before the 70s, 75, we didn't have no fault in Pennsylvania. We had fault divorce. And what that did is it caused people to go into court and lie. Essentially, they committed perjury just about every time they went into court, because they had to make up grounds for divorce or they couldn't get divorced. So with no fault, we kind of took away that burden and tried to take out the acrimony. So that was one of the big changes. So it's always evolving, and I've been instrumental. I'm very proud of the fact that I've written a lot of the laws. I've helped write some of the statutes. Here in Montgomery County, I was instrumental because I was the only 3-time chair of the County Bar Association's family law section, and a lot of the local rules pertaining to family law I wrote. So I ran the course. I felt I did that to make a difference for the families and make it better for the people. And after 30 years, I sat back and said, you know what? The system on the other side, from the bench and the justice system, really needs work. And in Montgomery County, we have judges who really try. They're good people, fundamentally. But we have 20 people on the bench right now, and only one of them has a background in family law. Only one. And unfortunately, almost half our cases that go in front of these judges are related to custody, child support, divorce, family law. And a lot of the judges, although they try, they really don't want to do it. They don't have the background to do it. And it does take a lot of experience and doing it for a number of years to get a feel for what the people really need. You know, these are people who come to you with problems. Their lives are in crisis. And unless you get a feel for doing it and facing them every day, I don't think as a judge you really get the same ability to try those kinds of cases. So after reviewing that and looking at what I could do to change things on the other side of the bench, I decided that this was a good opportunity to make a difference as a judge for these people coming through the system. Good.
Now, does your involvement or your involvement with your family and in the community, how do you think that helps you towards a possible judgeship?
Well, I think we all bring our life experiences to whatever we do, whatever business we're in, whatever profession we're in. And as a judge, most people their first contact with the legal system is, you know, either they get sued, they get in an accident, or they get divorced. That's really where
That's true, yeah.
That's really where they see things. And so they're coming to court with the expectation that the person in that black robe is going to help them. And so you bring your life experience. So I have a son in Lower Merion High School. I've coached Little League for over 12 years. I'm the 3-year president of Lower Merion Little League, and I deal with kids. The one thing I've learned about coaching youth sports, it's very interesting.
Right.
And being a divorce lawyer was very helpful because just about half the kids' parents were getting divorced.
Oh, boy.
So, and the first thing I check out is, you know, we used to have youth umpires, you know, 16, 17, and unfortunately or fortunately, some of them, I represented one of their parents, or they at one point. So I always make sure that the case was okay before the umpire. I checked out the umpire. But I realized that all kids have some issues, and the parents, especially in the suburbs, really strive to have their children, you know, achieve. And they sometimes push their kids too much. So doing and coaching youth sports, I learned one thing. The most important attribute is making sure the kids have fun.
That's right.
And making sure they get the love of the great game of baseball. I mean, we had this, we're all saddened by the loss of Harry Callis, and it brings to home that we have to cherish each day, and we have to really understand that these kids going through youth sports will take those experiences for the rest of their life. And I always tried to coach for not the best player in the team, not the player with the most ability, but the player with the least ability, because invariably they're going to have one great play that year, one great catch, one great hit, and they're going to remember that the rest of their life. And that's what I try to strive for. And as a judge, these are people coming to see us in the court system, and if you can't give them a sense that they were heard, a sense that someone's up there listening, at being a coach and getting involved in my charity work is important, because I learned to listen to people. And listening is the most wonderful attribute, because most people don't listen. They have an idea what they want to do, and they don't listen to who they're talking to, and people walk away and say, that person, he wasn't even paying attention to me. So when they come to court, you really want to judge. The people want to know that the judge was listening. They can accept things that don't go their way a lot better if they feel that they were listened and understood. So doing the youth sport was one thing. My community work and charity work, I had a client early on in my career who had lupus. And as a result of that, I got on the board of directors of the Lupus Foundation of Delaware Valley. And about, I guess it has to be about 18 years ago, we started a fundraiser, which my wife and I are runners. We both run the New York Marathon, and my son's adopted. And the year we adopted Miles, his name is Miles, we ran the New York Marathon, so that's why his name is Miles. So for the Lupus Foundation, we started a fundraiser, which was a 5-mile run. And now 18 years later, we've raised over $1 million for the Lupus Foundation. And so, again, organization, listening to people, dealing with people, I think those are great attributes for the public to see in a judge.
Yeah, Joe, shortly and quickly, I wanted to find out, I know that you have a lot of experience with the technology task force. Tell us about technology in the court system.
To keep my sanity over the years, I've taught and written a lot about technology, especially for lawyers. Our legal system needs to be updated. The technology out there can save money and can make the public and the legal system more transparent. The people need to understand what the system is about. It shouldn't be behind a curtain. It shouldn't be a deep secret. And there are easy ways to do that. Websites now can be updated. People should know where they're simple things like putting the name of the judge, the courtroom the case is to be heard, and the time that the judge is starting his cases on the website, so people coming to court know where to go, know what judge they're to appear before, or if the case is going to be continued, or if the judge is going to be late, put it on a website. So we have less confusion in the court, things are more organized, and again, there's more access for the public for information, and we can make technology use that. For lawyers to make this system better, right now we're working towards electronic filing of court papers, and that can help a lot and save money for everybody.
Joel, I want to give you about 35 seconds to tell the folks at home why they should vote for you for judge.
Well, I believe that my life experiences and working with families and children have given me the qualities to be able to listen and to be compassionate about what I do. And it's essentially going over to be a judge, I can bring those qualities to the court system to make it better for families that are going through divorce, custody, and child support, as well as the other areas that I may appear before me, such as criminal law or civil litigation. But I think being human and listening and compassionate that's what people expect from judges, and that's what I can bring.
Well, Joel, I'd like to congratulate